All right, so Lugia Archeops, #1 deck in the format, obviously. And then A-tier decks, I think I will make decks that I think can sometimes compete with Lugia Archeops, but they don't have as good of like a matchup spread overall. So you can beat Lugia, but you're not going to be able to beat everything else consistently. I think that's what I want to do. Actually, I don't even think that's fair, because I think what next you'd actually just put... I think it's actually S is Archeops Lugia, A is Lost Box by itself, and then next are decks that are good against Lugia, but lose to Lost Box. So like you're fine against Lugia, but you lose to Lost Box, and you can like beat every other thing else is fine. So then you'd put like Mew, but Mew's unfavored against Lost Box, and then you'd also put like Control, and you put Palkia and Teleon, especially with that new build that I was just trying out. Lost Box matchup is unfavorable, though. For the most part, it's tough. And then if you're unfavored against Lugia Archeops, but you're fine against other stuff, you're in D tier. So then you go like Reggie into D tier, Vikavolt, Lecky into D tier. Tina, I think, would also go into B tier, because you can like hold your own against Lugia, but then you struggle against Lost Box. Zorobox can hold its own against Lugia, but struggles against Lost Box. But it's like not that good of a powerful of a deck overall, so I think it goes into C tier. Mewtwo Miltank can hold its own against Lugia, but then it struggles against Mew, which is like the second most popular, third most popular deck. And then Lost Box can be harder now as well. Kyurem Palkia struggles against everything, almost everything. But like, it's not like terrible up against Lugia. It's pretty bad. This might also be D tier, to be honest. Yeah, I think I'd put this in D tier. I think Arcdura goes in D tier. Well, no, Arcdura is probably C tier, because I don't know, your Lugia matchup I think is unfavorable. Yeah, this is hard for actually Arcdura does not feel like it's on the same level as these decks. It feels like it's down a step. I think it is down here. And then Blissey, I think, is probably down here with everyone else in the D tier. So I think it's S tier. Lugia Archeops, best deck in the format. Lost Box can keep up with Archeops, and it can keep up with basically everything else in the format, and there's a lot of different ways to play it, so I'll give Lost Box its own spot in A tier. I think that's actually fair. And then everything here in B tier is iffy against Lugia, either slightly favored, slightly unfavored, or I guess this is really favored, but then it struggles against other stuff, and can be pretty easily teched for. But then struggles against other stuff. Can't hold its own against everything, even if it can hold its own against Lugia. And then C tier can only hold its own against Lugia, and then struggles against like everything else. Or the deck is just like not very powerful overall, which is like Zorobox. Arcdura is like that. It's like it can hold its own against Lugia. I don't even know how like it's not even that good against Lugia, and then it's just like a bad deck besides that. And then D tier are decks that are actually unfavored against Lugia pretty solidly, and then don't even like beat everything else in the format. Which is that. Actually, I think this is a pretty good tier list, to be honest. I think this is actually just the format right here. This is it.